Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive, this time into a true legend.
Right.
Who doesn't love the Ferrari F40?
An icon, for sure.
We've got a pretty good stack of sources here to help us uncover its stories. Yeah, hopefully we can paint a good picture of this car. It's engineering its legacy.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Oh.
So let's set the stage a little bit. Imagine it's 1987, Ferrari is turning 40.
Big anniversary.
And rumors are swirling about their most ambitious project yet. And that's where our deep dive begins.
Well, what's really interesting is that the F40 didn't actually start as like a standalone supercar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it actually evolved from the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, a car that was initially built for Group B rally racing.
The 288 GTO Evoluzione, I'm guessing that wasn't exactly your average Sunday drive kind of car?
Not even close. Group B was this notoriously wild racing series, just insane speeds, barely contained power.
Like the gladiatorial arena of motorsports.
Exactly. Unfortunately, though, it got canceled due to a string of fatal accidents.
Oh, wow.
And this all happened before the 288 GTO Evoluzione could even compete.
So Ferrari had this beast of a car and nowhere to unleash it.
Right. And that's where Enzo Ferrari comes in.
Okay.
Rather than letting the project just fade away, he saw an opportunity.
I like it.
He envisioned a road-going version of that 288 GTO Evoluzione, a car that would really embody the raw power and the uncompromising performance that Ferrari was known for.
His final automotive testament.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a heck of an origin story.
It really is.
So how did they actually translate that racing pedigree into a street-legal car?
Well, the heart of the F40 was a 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine.
Oh, yeah.
A technological marvel for its time. And this wasn't just any V8. They incorporated racing-derived technologies like IHI turbochargers.
Interesting.
And get this, Enzo insisted on them even though his Formula One team was using a different brand at the time.
Wow.
This thing churned out a staggering 478 horsepower.
Dang.
And it became the first production car to break the 200-mile-per-hour barrier.
I mean, the Porsche 959, which was like its closest rival at the time, I think topped out around 197 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's right.
That's mind-blowing.
It really is.
I can only imagine what it must have been like to even experience that kind of speed back then.
I know.
What were the reviews like?
They were mixed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, some critics were just absolutely blown away by the performance.
Yeah.
But they found the F40 to be really raw and unforgiving.
Like a widowmaker.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard to imagine a world where supercars didn't have power steering or anti-lock brakes.
No power steering or brakes. You're kidding?
Nope. It was a true test of driving skill. Like, you had to have precise control, a deep understanding of the car's dynamics.
Wow.
Even F1 driver Gerhard Berger, he mentioned nearly losing control because of wheel spin.
Oh my gosh.
In fourth gear at 120 miles per hour.
Yikes.
This was not a car for the faint of heart.
So it sounds like driving the F40 was truly like a visceral experience, almost like taming a wild animal.
Yeah, a great way to put it.
What about the design? Did it match the car's ferocious performance?
Absolutely. Pininfarina, the legendary Italian design house, they created this radical aerodynamic design.
Cool.
It was more akin to a fighter jet than a typical street car. I mean, they incorporated sharp angles,
Yeah.
Messier ducts.
And of course, that massive rear wing.
Yeah, that became iconic.
Sounds incredibly aggressive. Did they use any special materials to kind of achieve that look and that performance?
They were really at the forefront of using these lightweight, high-strength materials. So the F40's body was actually crafted from this combination of Kevlar, carbon fiber, and aluminum,
Oh, wow.
which allowed for just incredible strength and lightness.
I mean, think about it. In the late 80s, these were like exotic materials
Yeah.
typically found in like aerospace applications. So they essentially took technology from fighter jets and applied it to a road car.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It shows just how dedicated they were to pushing those boundaries of automotive engineering.
Pretty amazing.
And, the F40 wasn't just about raw power.
Right.
It was also about achieving a level of performance and handling that was previously unheard of in a road car.
I mean, it all sounds so impressive. I'm guessing the interior was pretty luxurious to match, right?
Well, let's just say the interior was more in line with the F40's overall philosophy.
Which is
Pure, unadulterated performance.
Okay, so what exactly does that mean? So no plush leather seats or fancy sound systems.
Think more along the lines of no radio, no carpets, no door handles.
No door handles. How did you even get in the car?
They had these simple pull straps,
Oh, wow.
all in the name of weight saving.
Wow.
And instead of like traditional roll-down windows, some early models even had sliding Lexan panels.
Interesting.
again to reduce weight.
Wow.
The F40's interior was about as Spartan as it gets.
Really?
A true driver's cockpit, just stripped of any unnecessary distractions.
So it's really all about connecting the driver directly to that machine, just feeling every nuance of the road and the engine.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It was a car designed for pure driving thrills, not leisurely cruises or impressing passengers with fancy gadgets.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand why some people call it the ultimate driver's car.
It really is.
But with such a radical approach, I'm curious, how did the press react to the F40 when it was first unveiled? Did they embrace its rawness, or were they put off by its uncompromising nature?
Well, that's where things get really interesting,
Okay.
because the initial reception was actually quite divided.
Mm.
I mean, while some journalists hailed it as this masterpiece, others saw it as this raw and unrefined beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember, this was a time when supercars were starting to become more luxurious and user-friendly.
Right, so the F40 was kind of going against the grain, bucking the trend of comfort and refinement.
Exactly. Automobile Magazine actually described it as a mix of sheer terror and raw excitement, noting its very challenging driving experience.
Wow.
And they even suggested that an onboard mechanic might be necessary.
Oh my gosh, an onboard mechanic.
Yeah,
That's quite a statement.
it really is.
But despite that initial skepticism, it sounds like the F40 eventually won over the critics.
Yeah.
What changed?
Well, as more people got behind the wheel and experienced that raw, visceral performance, those initial doubts, they began to fade.
Right.
It became clear that this wasn't just a fast car. It was an experience unlike anything else on the road.
So the F40 transcended those initial criticisms and became something truly special, a legend.
Right.
And speaking of legends, didn't Ferrari also create a racing version of the F40?
They did. It was called the F40 LM.
The F40 LM.
And it was born out of customer demand for this, track-focused version of this already extreme machine.
Right.
And Ferrari entrusted the project to Michelotto Automobili, which was this renowned Italian race car builder.
Okay, I bet they didn't hold back. What did they do to kind of turn this street-legal supercar into a track weapon?
Well, Michelotto went all out, boosting the power output to somewhere between like a rumored 700 to 900 horsepower.
Wow.
They reinforced the chassis, stripped the interior down to the bare essentials, added even more aggressive aerodynamic elements.
Wow, that's a serious power upgrade. What was it like on the track? Did it live up to the hype?
It was a beast on the track, proving its prowess in IMSA and other GT racing series.
Yes.
And, it wasn't just a pretty face. It was a fierce competitor that could hold its own against the best racing cars in the world.
That's amazing how they took an already extreme car like the F40 and just turned it up to 11.
I know.
It's a testament to the car's inherent capabilities. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the F40's collectible status.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting for me.
Right. The F40 has really become one of the most sought-after Ferraris ever made. Only 4,311 units were produced,
Okay.
which makes it relatively common compared to other Ferrari supercar icons.
Hold on. Common for a Ferrari? I'd say any F40 is a rare find.
You're not wrong. But in the world of limited production supercars, that production number is actually on the higher side. Of course, that doesn't diminish its value or desirability.
Right. So what happened to the F40's value over the years? Did it go through the roof like other classic Ferraris?
It did. The F40 was launched right at the peak of the 1980 speculator bubble.
Oh.
Prices skyrocketed, reaching multiples of the original list price.
Ah, the good old days when people were flipping Ferraris like houses. What happened when the bubble burst? Did the F40's value plummet?
It dipped a bit.
Okay.
But while the bubble bursting did cause prices to, kind of dip, the F40's desirability never truly faded.
Yeah.
It remained a sought-after car for collectors and enthusiasts.
Right.
And its value eventually recovered, exceeding its original price.
So what should someone look for when they're considering buying an F40 today? Aside from having a few $1 million lying around, of course.
Well, condition is paramount.
Sure.
As with any collectible car, mileage, provenance, and specific features also play a role in determining an F40's value. Early build cars, especially those with the sliding Lexan windows, tend to be more desirable.
Right. What about U.S. spec cars? Are they any different from their European counterparts?
They are. U.S. spec cars had to meet stricter emission regulations.
Right.
So they had catalytic converters, which slightly affected their performance.
Oh, okay. So a U.S. spec F40 is a slightly tamer version of the European model?
In a sense, yes. But that doesn't mean they're not valuable. In fact, U.S. spec cars tend to be more desirable to American buyers simply because they're more readily available in this market.
Right, that makes sense. So despite those minor regional differences, all F40s are highly prized by collectors.
Absolutely. The enduring value and appeal of the F40 are a testament to its iconic status and the lasting legacy of Enzo Ferrari.
It's fascinating how a car can become so much more than just a machine.
Yeah.
You know, it's a symbol of an era, a piece of automotive history, a work of art. What do you think it is about the F40 that continues to captivate people even today?
I think it's a combination of factors.
Mm-hmm.
The F40 was this groundbreaking car for its time, pushing the boundaries of performance design and materials.
Mm.
And it was also the last car to bear Enzo Ferrari's personal stamp of approval.
Right. It's a car with a powerful story behind it, a story of passion, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of automotive excellence. But do you think a car like the F40 could even be created in today's world?
That's a great question. With all the safety regulations, emission standards, and technological advancements, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to create a car as raw and uncompromising as the F40.
Yeah, imagine pitching that to a board of directors today. Hey, let's build a supercar with no airbags, no traction control, and an interior made of bare metal.
They'd probably think you were crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what makes the F40 so special. It's a product of a different time, a time when supercars were built for pure driving thrills, not for lap times or comfort.
It was a time when passion and performance trumped everything else, and that's something worth celebrating. The F40 reminds us that cars can be more than just machines. They can be works of art, symbols of passion, and sources of pure driving joy.
I couldn't agree more. The F40 is a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity and the pursuit of automotive perfection. And it's a reminder that some things, like the thrill of driving a truly exceptional car, never go out of style.
This has been an incredible journey so far, exploring the F40's origins, engineering reception, its racing legacy, and its status as a collector's item. But I feel like we've only scratched the surface of this legendary car.
There's always more to uncover. And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this. It's not just about learning facts and figures, it's about gaining a deeper understanding of what makes something truly special.
Exactly. And in the case of the F40, it's clear that this car is more than just a sum of its parts. It's a legend that continues to inspire and captivate us even decades after its creation.
Right.
But, you know, as much as I've enjoyed geeking out over the F40 specs and performance numbers, I think what truly brings this car to life is the human element.
I completely agree. It's the stories, the anecdotes, the people behind the car that truly capture its essence.
Like, for example, you know the story about Enzo Ferrari personally choosing those IHI turbochargers
Oh, yeah.
over the ones that his Formula One team was using at the time.
Right.
It really shows his dedication to this project.
It does. It highlights how Enzo trusted his instincts and the feedback, from his test drivers. He was determined to make the F40 the best it could be, even if it meant going against the grain.
Speaking of test drivers, we can't forget Dario Benuzzi.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was Ferrari's legendary test driver, and he played a crucial role in refining the F40's handling.
He really did.
Yeah.
Benuzzi was instrumental in making the F40 drivable. He pushed the car to its limits, providing invaluable feedback to the engineers.
I've heard stories.
There's this famous anecdote about him actually taking a file to the rear spoiler during high-speed testing at Nerdo.
No way.
Yeah.
To address some aerodynamic issues.
Yep.
Wait, he modified the car on the fly during testing?
That's right. It wasn't all computer simulations and wind tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of hands-on, real-world testing and fine-tuning involved.
Wow.
They were chasing perfection, and they weren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
That's the kind of dedication and attention to detail that really separates the truly great cars from the rest.
For sure.
It's clear that the F40 was a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
A combination of years of experience and a relentless pursuit of automotive excellence.
It really was. And it's a reminder that even in today's world of high-tech supercars, the human element is still so essential. It's the passion, the skill, the dedication of the people behind the car that ultimately make it special.
It makes you wonder what Enzo Ferrari would think of today's supercars.
I know, right?
I mean, would he even recognize them?
He'd likely be impressed by the technological advancements, the hybrid powertrains, the sheer performance capabilities.
Right. But would he still see that same spark, that same raw passion in these high-tech machines?
It's hard to say. Enzo was a man of a different era. He believed in raw power analog feedback, the purity of the driving experience.
Mm-hmm.
He might find some modern supercars a bit too sanitized, a bit too reliant on technology.
Maybe he'd even say they've lost their soul.
Perhaps. But I also think he'd appreciate the progress that's been made in terms of safety and efficiency. And who knows, maybe he'd even be inspired to create something new, something that would push the boundaries even further.
Right. A modern-day F40 designed with Enzo's vision but incorporating today's technology.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
It would be quite a sight to behold. But for now, we can appreciate the legacy of the F40, a car that stands as a testament to a time when supercars were raw, visceral, and unforgettable.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. We've learned so much about the F40, its impact, its legacy, the people who made it a reality.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to explore the history of this iconic car. The F40 is a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity and the pursuit of automotive perfection.
It's a reminder that true automotive passion never fades. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Until next time, keep the passion for driving alive.